Bro, my fault. I'm here. Hold on. Sorry, bro. I'm just like dealing with phone calls and shit like that. All right. So I switched the topic for today's stream to Marci Bowers because that's actually who I wanted to talk about. And then incidentally, my fault. This, what's it called? My bad. All right. So then the WPATH files dropped, and I was like, shit, I should have done it before. I do really want to talk about this Pennsylvania school walkout thing, but I'm like kind of frazzled right now, and I feel like I could wing this topic a little better than that topic. So, all right, what's up, guys? Hey, angry feral survivor. Sarah, my loveliest, I've been thinking of you and hoping that everything's been going well with your court cases. I really do. I think about you a lot, Sarah. I really do. I think about you a lot. And you're a really, like, I think, powerful person. And even just talking to you just for a little bit, you really strike me as somebody who has, like, a really unique level of compassion for other women. And I've just, I really would love to have you back on the channel at some point. So for those who don't remember, I had Sarah, angry feral survivor, did a live stream with me called violence against women is male. And she has done a lot to advocate for female survivors of domestic violence, starting with her own journey with domestic violence. And she's just like real down to earth. And like, you feel it when she talks about how she cares about other women. Like, you really do. You feel it. Like, nothing makes me feel like you're just paying lip service. Like, you really feel like you're somebody who's like in the field and like will fight for somebody. So yeah, she was awesome and still is. So I'm so proud of you. And I think about you whenever I hear that you have some court cases coming up, with your ex. It's just basically like kind of, I guess, telling them to keep him in because her and her child are not safe. And it's just scary because the state doesn't care about us. So, it's just amazing to see women advocate for themselves, and you're showing women how to do that. And I think that that's awesome. All right, so let's talk about Marci Bowers. So this is a troony, loony, hoony, poony, patoonie. If you don't know who this is the president of WPATH, the World Professional Association of Transgender Health. We have Marci Bowers, who is a trans-identifying male. He was the lead surgeon on the Jazz Jennings thing. And I feel like how he has sort of changed his tune lately is very much in keeping with what I've talked about, what I expected from WPATH. I think that they're going to have no choice now because the gender critical, they really tried to suppress all of the gender critical voices across the board. But as I've said, and I give credit, and I know that some, feminists this is a little bit controversial, but I still think that it's valid. I give credit to the Daily Wire bros for forcing this into the mainstream. And I think that they did it because they were able to accomplish that because Ben Shapiro had a very successful strategy for, creating this sort of like alternative conservative platform to sort of challenge the traditional left-wing media. And then, love him or hate him, Matt Walsh is really excellent at crafting concise delivery with explaining the issues. Yes, he took all of his talking points from, women. And I've heard a couple commenters saying that because Matt Walsh did what he did, he basically blocked women from being able to sort of enter with their own voice. I disagree with that. I think that women were always kind of not listened to in general. I don't think that Matt exacerbates that. But anyway, yeah, so I think that now it's been sort of the gender critical voices have been sort of forced in the mainstream. We have the rise of like Gen Spect, who's sort of offering this like alternative to WPATH, which is still in keeping with gender. And then WPATH is starting to have no choice but to recognize where they have failed, right? It's now that we have the WPATH files, now that more eyes are on this industry, they're going to have no choice as more and more detransitioners step up and tell their stories, as more and more, former gender therapists kind of snap out of it and realize that they were complicit in a very evil thing. Because you got to remember, it's a lot like Nazi Germany. And I know that everybody loves to, like, you know, use Nazis as a just this like cliche, but it's true. You think about good people, whether we want to acknowledge this or not, I think that we have to admit that good people were duped into supporting Nazism, right? Or, you know, just like, even if they're just like neutral people. And I think it speaks to the power of these, you know, these sort of like mind warp things, and these how strong and powerful these ideologies can be. So there are people who were otherwise good people for the most part. Like, I know it's hard. It like pains me to say that, because I'm like, no, you're a piece of shit if you ever participated in this. But I think, and all, you know, I think that there were people who were, for the most part, good, who were therapists, who participated in this and just did not have good critical thinking skills and went along with it and followed protocol. And it took until other people were like, hey, this is messed up, for them to be like, yeah, you know, this is a little off. So now that we have more and more therapists and people who were otherwise involved in the gender industry taking a step back, and they're digesting some of these gender critical points, they're going to come forward with their own stories. And I think that WPATH has no choice but to admit where maybe some mistakes were made if they want to survive. And so now we're already seeing that with Dr. Marci Bowers. So let's talk a little bit about Susie Glucksman, the power of bullying, silence, and cancellation. You got to understand, people would lose their jobs for something as minor as misgendering, right? People were really, really threatened hard. You know, think about it. Say, you know, like me, for example, I have 4 children, you know, and say that like I had some sort of like, you know, corporate job or whatever, and, you know, I have bills. Your mortgage doesn't stop. Your bills don't stop. Your children's hunger doesn't stop. So it's like, if it was presented to me that like, no, you need to behave in this way or you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose everything, your children are going to starve, you know, everything that you've worked for will get taken from you. I mean, that's hard, right? That's hard. So anyway, let's take a look at Marci Bowers. And of course, you know, he started off in gynecology. Fucking of course. It's weirdo. Of course. All right. So, for fuck's sake. All right. Marci Bowers. So he was originally, let's see. I wonder if he was he a gynecologist as a man? All right. So let's just take a look at like his Marci Bowers, MD, trans feminine services, trans masculine services, female genital mutilation, clitoral restoration, gynecological surgery, Marci Bowers, MD. All right, so let's just take a look about Marci Bowers. Just really quick, let's look at how he describes himself. All right, so, Marci Bowers, MD. We're going to just go through just like a few different things related to him. Marci Bowers, MD of Burlingame, California, is acknowledged as a pioneer in the field of gender affirmation surgery and is the first woman worldwide. Of course, he gets to hold these like special, you know, recognition and these things like that, to hold a personal transgender history while performing transgender surgery. So you're the first troon to troon people out is what? Is that what we're talking about here, bro? He is also the first U.S. surgeon to learn the technique of functional clitoral restoration after female genital mutilation cutting. Christ. Plato's Cave. Plato's Cave was written 2,000 years ago. They've known how to take advantage of pride for a long time. Absolutely. Plato's Cave is a good one. It's a good allegory. Dr. Bowers is a pelvic and gynecologic surgeon with more than 32 years of experience. He is a University of Minnesota medical school graduate where he was class and student body president after residency in obstetrics gynecology at the University of Washington. He practiced in Seattle, the Polyclinic and Swedish Medical Center. Dr. Bowers left Seattle in 2003 to apprentice with the legendary Dr. Stanley Bieber, considered, quote, the father of transgender surgery. In 2010, Marcy relocated to San Francisco Bay Area community of Burlingame, California. He has now performed more than 2,250 primary male to female vaginoplasties and 3,900 gender affirming surgeries over. This is just one surgeon, right? This is supposed to be like a phenomenally rare occurrence. And this is just one surgeon who's performed almost 4,000 of these things. That's in one area, right? In 2014, Dr. Bowers was hired to renew transgender surgery at Sheba Hospital in Tel Aviv, Israel. Subsequently, she initiated trans surgical education programs at Mount Sinai, New York, 2016, Denver Health, 2018, the University of Toronto Women's College Hospital, 2019, Northwell Health, 2020, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, 2020. The Mount Sinai Transgender Surgical Fellowship is the first of its kind. Dr. Bowers performed WPATH's first 2 live surgery vaginoplasties at Mount Sinai in 2018 and 2019, which is like the height of all of this. Dr. Bowers is the WPATH president-elect and currently serves on the Trevor Project Board of Directors, having served previous terms with GLAAD and the Transgender Law Center. Oh, so that makes so much sense that he was on GLAAD. We gotta get into all of these organizations. His gender-diverse career has been highlighted by appearances on Oprah, CBS Sunday Morning, Discovery Health, and the TLC reality series I Am Jazz. He is interviewed in 2021 by Leslie Stahl for the CBS News program 60 Minutes. Dr. Bowers is recognized as one of the 100 most influential LGBT people in the Guardian's World Pride Power List, and one of yeah, it does sound like Mount Sinai. He is a butcher mutilating vulnerable children. Yeah, God. And one of Huffington Post's 50 transgender icons was called the transgender surgery rock star, Denver Post. Georgia O'Keeffe of genitalia unknown. What? And the Beyonce of bottom surgery. What a weirdo. Bro. Really fast. Oh, wait. So I'm going to open that in a new tab. Let's really quick see. All right. So let's look at the one appearance that he had of I Am Jazz with Marci Bowers scene. Let's see if we can find that really quick. Okay, is this afterwards? Hold on, let's see really quick. So again, him and this like Asian guy were like the leads, and just watch how
we're a community of over 22,000 doctors. We practiced at all top 20 U.S. hospitals.
I feel like we're near the end of the journey at this point, and I do feel like this is going to be the one where they're going to say, this is what we got to do to finish everything up, complete the process, and let Jazz go on her merry way.
Hello, knock knock.
Hello.
What's up?
How we doing?
How's my wonderful family? Jazz has had a very difficult surgical course. She had a very incredible first surgery. It went seemingly very well, but there were problems. And that prompted a second surgery, which I was not a part of, unfortunately. Yeah, this has been a real journey, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we knew it would be tough. It turned out tougher than any of us imagined.
Taking Jazz on as a patient for surgery, we knew it was going to be a one-of-a-kind surgery. She's one of the first to have undergone complete pubertal suppression and lack of growth of the skin and other tissues, which we rely on as surgeons to do this operation. And we don't have the experience of having said we've done 50 of these. I was just not expecting her to have a complication as severe as what she did have.
So basically what happened was they put this young boy on puberty blockers, I think prior to Tanner stage 2. So the way that they are able to assess the stage of puberty is by something called Tanner stage, right? So Tanner stage 1, I think, is like not puberty. Tanner stage 2 is like the beginning of puberty. Let's look at all the Tanner stages really fast, because I think that's important to know. Tanner stages. All right. Is this really the 5 tanner? It's really about hair? Oh, let's see. So for females, so Tanner stage 1 is after the 8th birthday. Let's see. Puberty typically begins between the ages of 9 and 11, which is when physical changes start to appear. The Tanner stages are used to describe specific changes that children and teens may experience during puberty. Puberty is a time of big changes for a teen that eventually ends with full maturation of the body. The difficult stages can be challenging and even confusing for teens, especially since the timeline of these changes is different for each person. Puberty may be difficult, all right, whatever. May be difficult for teens to question gender identity. All right, Tanner stage 1. Tanner stage 1 describes what's happening to your child before any physical signs of puberty appear. Typically starts after, so we're talking about for females, starts after the 8th birthday and after a male's 9th or 10th birthday. At this stage, these internal changes are the same for males and females. So during Tanner stage 1, the brain begins to send signals to the body to prepare for changes. The hypothalamus begins to release gonadotropin releasing hormones, GnRH, to the pituitary gland, which makes hormones that control other glands in the body. Pituitary gland starts to make 2 other hormones, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. So this is for females. So this is basically like when, it starts so they can like mature eggs. Physical changes aren't noticeable for males or females at this stage. Tanner stage 2. Stage 2 marks the beginning of development, of physical development. Hormones begin to send signals. So he was given puberty blockers prior to Tanner stage 2. When you're given puberty blockers prior to Tanner stage 2, followed by cross-sex hormones. So he's never been exposed to any amount of, pubertal levels of testosterone. Means that, basically, not only is he genitally very underdeveloped and didn't have a lot of tissue to work with, but it also means that he has almost certainly never experienced an orgasm ever before. Females, so let's see. All right. Puberty usually starts between ages 9 and 11. Visible changes include first signs of breasts called buds start from under the nipple. They may be itchy or tender, or one bud may be larger than the other, which is normal. Darker area around the nipple, areola, will also expand. Uterus begins to get larger and small amounts of pubic hair start growing on the lips of the vulva. On average, all right, so I'm like racial differences. Males. In males, puberty starts around age 11. The testicles and skin around the testicles begin to get bigger. Puberty usually starts around age 11. Changes include testicles and skin around the testicles, scrotum begin to get bigger. Early stages of pubic hair form at the base of the penis. Tanner stage 3. Physical changes are becoming more obvious for both males and females in stage 3. Along with growth, spurt, and height, your teen's hormones are hard at work, furthering development from the previous stage. Okay, so it's just talking about, again, so these are just the different stages. Tanner stage 4, puberty is in full swing during stage 4. Both males and females are noticing many changes. So it's like height and different things. You guys can take a look at this. And then Tanner stage 5 in females, stage 5 usually happens around age 15. So this is like, I think, the final stage. So breasts reach approximate adult size and shape, though breasts can continue to change through 18. Periods become regular after 6 months to 2 years. Females reach adult height 1 to 2 years after their first period. Pubic hair fills out to reach the inner thighs. Reproductive organs and genitals are fully developed. Hips, thighs, and buttocks fill out in shape. Males, stage 5 usually starts around 15. Changes include penis, testicles, and scrotum will have reached adult size. Pubic hair is filled in to spread to the inner thighs. Facial hair will start coming in. Some males will need to begin shaving. Growth in height will slow down, but muscles may still be growing. By age 18, most males will have reached full growth. Okay. All right, so again, stage 1, there's no noticeable changes all the way through stage 5. Reproductive organs and genitals are fully developed. Okay. Well, so here's the thing, right? Normally, I would feel sorry for Jazz too, except...
What's up?
Except when you see stuff like this is when I stop feeling sorry for Jazz. I'm sorry, but you know what? He's been to, like, you know, people, I understand that he was pubertally blocked and all these sort of things. He was able to, you know, go to college, at least, you know, for a little bit. I understand he was able to make I do know that he's been heavily delayed, right? And his capacity for critical thinking is not really great. However, okay, he's still an adult. Okay, you know, we don't tailor our expectations of people based on, you know, a lot of people have different learning disabilities or intellectual delays or just low IQ and things like that. He has a high enough IQ to, like, care for himself and to be, you know, to be like a spokesperson and to oversee these projects and things. So I think he's old enough to at least know that the harm that was done, that promoting the harm that was done to him to other children is wrong. It's unethical. It's immoral. And yet he does it anyway. And this is where I lose sympathy for Jazz Jennings, okay? What is it? His real name is what, Jerron or Gerard? But let's listen.
What's up? Hi. How are you doing? While my mom is meeting with the women in her mom's group, I'm going to be hanging out with their daughters. Oh my God. Don't die now.
Jazz to me is such an inspiration because, like, growing up, I didn't really have, like, an advocate or anyone that I looked to, like, as a transgender, like, role model.
So I saw you two recently at Philly, but it's been a couple of years.
I know.
I have known Charlie, Nicole, and Emily for many years, and I know my mom doesn't want to scare anyone with too many of the details of my complications, but I want to share my surgery experiences with them because they're...
And his mom is sick. That's another person we really need to take a look at. It's this kind of like dark triad of, like, trans housing by proxy mom, you know, predator surgeons, and then at a time when just the gender industry in general was looking for a poster child. So it's like TLC plus Marci Bowers plus Jazz Jennings, and you have this, like, dark triad of just evil that conspired together and destroyed this child's life.
They're about to be going through the same thing, and I want them to know what it was like for me, but I also don't want to freak them out. Okay, so when are you getting your surgery?
About a year from now.
What about you, Charlie?
So I'm looking to do my surgery probably after I graduate high school because school is just really hard. Like, people were, like, bullying me. Like, people would call me and, like, threaten me.
Also,
So
what are these little boys wearing? They're like... It's just, yeah, it's really sad. They're all wearing, like, tons of makeup. Their clothes are half, like, hanging off their shoulder and stuff like that. It's just, come on.
Just a lot right now to, like, tackle on all that and then, like, a surgery on top of it.
You guys know that I just got my surgery.
Yes. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great
Yeah,
now.
so...
Look at me.
Magpie Annie says Jeanette's cousin was working on her PhD in gender. She is a trans therapist in Florida. She got behind all this, pushing Gerard's transformation into Jazz. Yeah, as for Jazz's father, he's like a noodle. He's like a total noodle and just goes along with whatever the mom. It's like he reminds me a little bit of, like, Bruce Jenner, and Jeanette is like the Kris Jenner who just controls everything. But yeah, exactly. There was what was it, the aunt or her cousin? Her cousin, I did hear that too. So there was just a lot of people.
I'm sitting cross-legged. I could
yes,
go
honey.
shablam and do the whole spiel, but before it was not that great. Yeah. There were some complications and it was really rough. About a week and a half after getting the surgery, the stitches started coming apart. And it was a hot mess. I was in a lot of pain. I was really upset because I'm like, what is going on? Why is my vagina unraveling?
I'm happy that Jazz is sharing what happened to her and her complications because she has been so honest with everyone for so long. Like, why hide this?
When you were in the hospital for such a long time.
He hasn't been honest. He hasn't been honest. It's all been carefully curated story. The story was already written, right? The story that Jazz was, the role that Jazz was supposed to be played was already scripted. What they didn't expect was how bad off the rails everything was going to go, which is why so much of this show, if you watch, is about managing him and trying to pull him back to script and back to, you know, how it was supposed to turn out. And they're really like scrambling, like, this isn't what we were supposed to, don't remember. You know, it's like, you know, whether he knew it or not, they already had a vision for how this was all supposed to go. So they're constantly trying to get him back on track with it. And it's like, you know, this panic when everything starts to fall apart. Is Abby in here? Who said Abigail Ivine? Abby, are you in here? Abby, hello darling, if you are.
How did you stay positive?
I just think everything in this world is mind over matter. And if I'm thinking things like, this sucks, I hate this, I just want to leave, I'm so depressed. If I think those things, then I'll feel bad for myself. That's amazing. At the end of the day, it was more of a positive experience than a negative experience, because even though it was rough and there were some really low moments.
You got a vagina.
Yeah, and I came out the other side with my vagina, and I think it's just made me more confident as a person.
No, like, let's see if any of this is true. First of all, you didn't get a vagina, and did it really make you more confident? Let's fact check all of these claims. Yeah, so again, it's like, you know, all of this sort of stuff. He could have shut it down. Now it's not anything even close to a vagina. It's horrifying. All right. Yeah. So here's where, and really quick before we play this, before I even play this, here is where Marci Bowers pretty much admits that, let's see, that this child, now this, you know, young man, will never ever experience an orgasm based on, you know, mistakes. There again, he was one of the first guinea pigs, right? This is who they were experimenting on. All right, so really quick. So before we watch this one clip, yeah, I think this show piqued a lot of people, and they did not mean for it to be that way, right? They wanted this to be like the ultimate way to cement transgenderism, that this is a real trans child, and it worked out, and All right, WPATH's president, Dr. Marci Bowers, switches course on puberty blockers. Dr. Bowers, here, let's see what this part says.
With us since the antiquities. I mean, identities have been with us since the antiquities. I mean, the time of the Bible.
How much research is there into the effects of puberty blockers and hormone treatments of people in this age group?
Right. Well, we have decades of experience with trans treatment overall, and that shows unequivocally that treatment is beneficial. But in this age group, we've only been treating.
Is that true? Is that really true, sir? Because, you know, it came out showing that suicide rates actually begin to skyrocket after this initial period. What happens is, initially after SRS, you know, sex reassignment surgery, which is a misnomer. Okay, this is genital mutilation surgery. This is opposite sex approximation surgery, where initially they have a placebo effect where they report that everything's going great and they're very happy because of the massive investment that people had to put into this thing, right? And so then once the reality sits in after that, they're not following up much beyond like the first 6-week follow-up visit and stuff like that. They're not keeping track of these people, but somebody finally did. And they said, 5 to 10 years on and beyond, we're starting to see that suicide rate starts to skyrocket. Okay, because the underlying problem was never addressed. And not only was the underlying problem never addressed, now you're taking these critically mentally ill people and you are burdening them with all of these new health conditions that have rendered them lifelong medical patients with these complex, problems that they have, urogenital problems, which are, some of the worst things to deal with in life. So That, you know,
with,
lie detector said
hormone
that's a lie.
blockers, which is the point of real controversy that people are after. We're seeing certainly very high levels of satisfaction, improved self-esteem, reduced suicidality. So they seem similar to what we've already witnessed in adult populations.
Dr. Marcy is the president of WPATH, such global standards. WPATH standards are used by leading providers such as Boston Children's Hospital and the Department of Defense. Before joining WPATH, Dr. Bowers warned blockers could cause sexual dysfunction. All right, so yeah. So anyway, Christ. Why does it do this? All right, so where does it say it? Hold on. Let's see. Marci Bowers, puberty blockers, orgasm. Let's see. I want to see where, hold on. Where he expresses concerns. Okay, here we go. Trans doctor express. So this is where he finally admits, and then he tries to go back, but it's he already admitted. Trans doctor expresses concern over medical interventions for children. A transgender doctor has admitted that children and teens who begin medical intervention before puberty do not have sexual function and will never experience orgasm as adult. Take that in. What is the point of doing these genital surgeries if it renders them useless? You're infertile. You can't even enjoy sex. What is the point? What is the point? What are we trying to accomplish here? They don't look like a vagina. They don't function like a vagina. So why would anybody be happy with having a mutilated penis? So it's a fuck pocket. Again, the only people who benefit from this are the people performing these surgeries and people who are turned on by people like this. It's not the people it's not the patients themselves who benefit in any sort of way whatsoever. A transgender doctor has admitted that children and teens who begin medical intervention before puberty do not have sexual function and will never experience orgasm as adults. Marci Bowers, who transitioned at age 38, has performed around 2,000 castrations on biological males. Oh, who is this? All right. Got a little turf in the house. Sup? It's by Kira Smith. Okay. I see you, Kira. Marci Bowers, who transitioned at age 38, has performed around 2,000 castrations on biological males who wish to appropriate womanhood. That's what's up, Kira. Quote, an observation that I had, said Bowers, every single child who was, or adolescent, who was truly blocked at Tanner stage 2, which is the beginning of physical development when hormones begin their work of advancing a child to adulthood, has never experienced orgasm. I mean, it's really about zero. Bowers' statements beg the question, how can children give informed consent to interventions that will have an impact on functions that they have no concept of or point of reference for? Excellent question. Bowers said there are two major problems with children undergoing medical gender affirmation prior to experiencing natural puberty. The biggest issue, according to Bowers, is that no amount of surgery can ever fix. The biggest issue, according to Bowers, is one that no amount of surgery can ever fix, and it is the issue of having no sexual function and no ability to achieve sexual pleasure. Bowers, who has had 3 children before undergoing gender transition in middle age, said that this concern should change the, quote, informed consent models where children are told what they are giving up: sexual function, sexual pleasure, intimacy in relationships, having children, and then agree to it before they even have any idea what those things truly are. Let's see. Bowers has seen thousands of patients and is considered a pioneer in trans treatments. The doctor added that when a boy begins blockers at an early age, the penis does not develop or grow, making it very difficult to construct a pretend vagina if they wish to do so. Other parts must be sacrificed to make the false vagina. Florida surgeon Dr. Joseph Lapido said, quote, Children experiencing gender dysphoria, a distressful disconnect between the feeling of gender identity and birth sex, should be supported by family and seek counseling, not pushed into an irreversible decision before they reach 18. He also noted that several countries are now reviewing or even stopping medical interventions on gender-confused children, including Sweden, Finland, France, and the United Kingdom. The current evidence, quote, the current evidence does not support the use of puberty blockers, hormone treatments, or surgical procedures for children and adolescents, Lapido said. Binary spokeswoman Kira Lee Smith said children deserve more protection. We gotta look into this woman. Let's get her on the channel. She sounds based. Harming children to hide your fetish is the definition of demonic. Exactly. It's just really sick. All right, so let's take a look then at this part. Okay, so this is where Jazz realizes what he just lost. Oh, now it's not suitable. It's a show that you guys sat there and aimed at children and you know, you prefaced with a children's book, and now all of a sudden it's too graphic and kids need, you know, come on, bro. Like,
Well, here we are again.
Over the past several months, I have been sending Dr. Bowers and Dr. Ting photos, but it's been a little while now since they've last examined me in person. So I think it's going to be really good for them to look at everything and get a game plan on about how they're going to perform this operation.
I feel like we're near the end of the journey at this point, and I do feel like this is going to be the one where they're going to say, this is what we got to do to finish everything up, complete the process, and let Jazz go on her merry way.
Hello, knock knock.
Hello.
What's up?
How we doing?
How's my wonderful...
if you haven't already, take a minute and like and subscribe. Of course, if you haven't already, but please like the video. It very much helps. Thank you, darlings.
family?
Good to see you.
Jazz has had a very difficult surgical course. She had a very incredible first surgery. It went seemingly very well, but there were problems. And that prompted a second surgery, which I was not a part of, unfortunately. Yeah, this has been a real journey, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we knew it would be tough. It turned out tougher than any of us imagined.
Taking Jazz on as a patient for surgery, we knew it was going to be a one-of-a-kind surgery. She's one of the first to have undergone complete pubertal suppression and lack of growth of the skin and other tissues, which we rely on as surgeons to do this operation. And we don't have the experience of having said we've done 50 of these.
I know, why is the whole family there? Because they're constantly, and it's like it constantly adds pressure to this boy to keep going forward, because it's like, oh, all of us are making careers off of this TLC, and you know, the weird brother, it gets like a little spin-off social media cloud, and the mom, and they're all getting a salary and a paycheck, and these doctors are really eager to make this happen because this is career changing for them. And it's like everybody has a stake in what's going on. And of course, you know, you have this kid who's like a people pleaser. He's been raised to be a people pleaser. That's his whole, you know, modus operandi, is to just go along and make everybody happy at his own expense. At his own expense the entire time.
I was just not expecting her to have a complication as severe as what she did have.
I think in hindsight, we would have never sent you home from the hospital. You know, easy to say now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I wasn't here, when you had problems and had to go back, I can't tell you how stressful that was.
Under the circumstances, do you think it was important to you for a little mea culpa?
I'm not sure. You know, it's nice to hear I did something acknowledging that. On the other hand, there's the medical side and an expectation that really should have been met.
Can we take a look?
Yes,
Can we examine
let's do
you?
the examination.
Okay, so we'll let you change.
We're not doctors, but we've had a chance to actually view what went on in the OR during Jazz's first surgery. And it's pretty disconcerting. In
Wait,
some
who's
ways.
Greg? Is Greg the dad? I never really fully watched any of this. The dad is useless. The mom is a nutcase.
It's like, whoa. This is what occurs while Jazz is having her surgery, and the doctors sometimes don't see eye to eye.
Why are you cutting there?
Right here?
Yeah, why?
Because it's scar, Jess. I don't like it.
Yeah, but there's scar everywhere. If you don't have to cut...
So the difference between what Marci Bowers had and what Jazz Jennings had is that Marci Bowers was not pubertally blocked, right? Marci Bowers had fully developed, had gone through full male puberty. He had his SRS at age 38, fully had the ability to orgasm. And so I think that when that's the case, they're able to retain at least some erogenous pleasure. I can't imagine it's much. I actually, pretty much from everyone I've ever heard, you really can't. Most of the male sexual pleasure that you're feeling is from the prostate, which can be stimulated for an orgasm anally, right? So I mean, I've heard from a lot of people, women, men, who have had this sex simulation surgery, which is really what it is, that the feeling, it's like they report if they can just feel anything at all. It's not even necessarily erogenous or erotic sensation. It's very hard. For anybody who's ever had any major surgery, it takes a long time for, let's see, what is the rate of growth for, rate of growth nerve endings. All right, the central nervous system, let's see, on average, damaged nerves can grow back at a rate of about 1 inch per month or 1 millimeter per day. Surgery is needed if there's significant scar tissue or gap between cut nerve ends. Really? Because that seems a lot faster. Yeah, I don't know. Sensory nerves are more resilient than motor nerves and can recover sensation months or years after injury. Motor nerves have a time limit for healing. Yeah, I just know that I had surgery in 2021, and I still don't really have any sensation in that area of my abdomen. So, it's really hard for me to imagine that they're feeling this full range of pleasure, and I've never heard of anybody who really says that they are. And here's them basically admitting that they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're making out as they go along on the OR table.
Right here?
Yeah, why?
Because it's scar, Jess. I don't like it.
Yeah, but there's scar everywhere. If you don't have to cut this, why would you cut that? We can just advance it to there.
Jess, let me go.
But it doesn't make any sense. Why do you need to cut that?
Because this is a disfiguring scar.
How do you know it's not a disfiguring scar? That's just a sulcus. These are the two labia. I mean, you may be right, but we don't know.
Jess,
why don't we just open this up and then see what this looks like?
Let me go, Jess. Let me go.
Oh my God.
I will say that
it's terrifying. Let me go, Jess. Let me go. It is totally male ego. My God. Cutting into things that can never be uncut. When you start cutting into tissue, and again, this is an area of the body where he's going to have to walk, and there's going to be a lot of motility, right? It's not like he can just stay and rest with his legs together all the time. He's going to have to get up. Every time he gets up, he stretches that area, which aggravates scar tissue, swelling plus stretching. Cutting plus swelling plus stretching equals scar tissue, right? This area of your body in between your legs, and every time you walk, it's pulling at it. And this is, again, his pelvis is not meant for there to be this pocket in there, and your body is constantly trying to heal. This is not normal. This is not what, part of your body's phenotypical layout or plan, and it is constantly trying to heal. That's why almost immediately you need to start trying to ram it open with a dilator. Constantly.
I feel like things should happen in a more methodical way.
This needs to advance more because we're off
This
center.
has to come down here.
I mean, this is off center. See, this is tilted. So that in order to get this midline, we need to bring that down more, and that will centralize this.
I think we're saying the same thing. I'm happy. I have a good sense of what we need to do. Let me just take a picture too. Poor thing, you could be a porn star for all the photos you're taking.
So inappropriate. If you ever said that to my child, you could be a porn star with all the photos. Let's hear that again. You could be a porn star with all the photos we're taking. How inappropriate.
You could be a porn star for all the...
They're just pimping this kid out for a paycheck.
I'm happy. I have a good sense of what we need to do. Let me just take a picture too. Poor thing, you could be a porn star for all the photos you're taking. God, I'm so sorry. I did not say
We have to just keep joking around here, otherwise we don't.
I like how Jeanette's laughing. She's like laughing the loudest. Jeanette thinks it's hilarious. That's hilarious to Jeanette. That's hilarious. Because this child is nothing more than an object. It makes sense. This child's nothing more than an object. And she sees him as like a fuck object. Like she wants him to be able to like have sex with men. And she's like frustrated that he's not interested. Do we even know fully that this kid is gay? Do we even know fully that he's gay? It's like I know that like he's been pushed towards being gay since forever. Maybe he was just like effeminate for a period and has been told that he's gay. And he talks about how he's never actually experienced any like romantic or sexual feelings for anybody. And he keeps trying to date men. You know, but we don't know. His mom has just been pushing that onto him. Does he even know? Does anybody know? What's going on with YouTube? Oh. Oh no, am I cut off? Oh Christ. Let's see. Am I back? Am I still off? Oh man. All right. You guys see me now? They don't want us. Can you guys see me? It is totally male ego. Like, my God. Cutting into things that can never be uncut. It's terrifying. Let me go, Jen. Let me go. It is totally male ego. All right, am I back? Oh, you guys can see me? Okay, cool. Yeah, so apparently it's like what? So they just don't want me to play. Luckily, the stream itself is not didn't get a strike, but they just don't want me to play it, which is so dumb. I wonder if I can like speed it up. Let's play the other one really fast. Let's just see what we can get away with. Fuck it. I'm so like prepared to move to Rumble if I have to. Follow me on Rumble. If for any reason, guys, I'm going to say this now. If for any reason my channel were to be taken down, like abruptly, and you don't know where to find me, go to Rumble. I'll be on Rumble. I'll just pick right up where I left off. I'll be on Rumble. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. So, don't worry. We're not going anywhere. Real quick.
This is hard for you, I know, and we don't want to push you
I know,
anymore.
I'm the one doing it. Like,
I know, you're your own worst enemy.
You're your own worst enemy.
I feel kind of all over the place, and like my mind is very cluttered and not clear. And I really want to have that clarity. I really want to understand myself and be able to read my own soul and what I want. And it's just very challenging. And I think I'm kind of breaking down a little bit and spiraling into negativity. I just want to feel like myself. Like, that's it. I don't care. All I want is to be happy and feel like me, and I don't feel like me ever. You know I can't get out of my head.
I know. No, listen.
It just doesn't stop.
It's okay. Give me a hug. It's okay. I know what you're going through.
This woman has the...
It still doesn't stop now, and I'm already going back to negative.
But the more you're talking about yourself, it gets harder. You're digging in, and it's making you put a magnifying glass on what's already difficult as it is. So this is hard for you, I know, and we don't want to push you
I know
anymore.
I'm the one doing it. Like,
I know, you're your own worst enemy.
The fact that this woman has the audacity to say you're your own worst... No, Jeanette, you're actually his worst enemy, right? You, as his mother, are his worst enemy. You made decisions for this child where... all because why? He wanted to fucking wear the dress, Jeanette? Because this child wanted to wear the dress. Now look what path you put him down. For fuck's sake. Just let the kid wear the goddamn dress, Jeanette. It was never that serious. It was never that serious. I promise you, it was never that serious. Yeah, and the way that she gaslights him, as if like, you know, this child he's constantly saying how this isn't working for him. He's not happy. This has just been too much. And she somehow he accepts it too, of course, because he doesn't know any better. She always finds a way to spin it back as him, as this is like, well, this is what you wanted so bad. No, Jeanette, no. You pushed this on him since a very young age. He's so unhappy. And hearing him say, I just want to be myself. Did you hear what Jeanette said? She goes, and who's that? What did she was like, oh, and who's that?
I feel kind of all over the place, and like my mind is very cluttered and not clear. And I really want to have that clarity. I really want to understand myself and be able to read my own soul and what I want. And it's just very challenging. And I think I'm kind of breaking down a little bit and spiraling into negativity. I just want to feel like myself. Like, that's it. I don't care. All I want is to be happy and feel like me, and I don't feel like me ever.
What is me?
You know,
you heard her say that? She said, what is me? Jeanette's response is, what is me? Meaning, like, well, who is the real Jazz? He doesn't want to be some mutilated science project so that his parents can go get a check from TLC. Maybe that's what it is, Jeanette. You know? You feel me? Like, all right, let's see real quick. Let's see what other. I had taken some notes. Does anybody remember the one? Who's the one dude? Oh, let's watch this for a minute.
It's weaponized and used for political purposes. Something that's really antithetical to any of us who are in medicine and science. So with that, I'm gonna share my screen here shortly.
So this is the guy who is the president of WPATH, okay? And WPATH is who is like the de facto, is the authority on this like trans medicine stuff, okay? They're the ones who are setting the protocols and all that kind of stuff. So let's just... My Career in Gender-Affirming Surgery, The Long and Winding Road, featuring Dr. Marci Bowers. This is from Mount Sinai. And again, Mount Sinai is one of the most prestigious medical institutions. They have one in New York City. They have one in LA. They've got them all over the world. And it is like one of the most prestigious like medical networks on the planet. And we're just captured at every single level. Yeah, Marci Bowers is the president of WPATH. That's correct. Let's see what we got.
We are so very excited to have Dr. Marci Bowers here with us today. Within the Office of Gender Equity, we have been working to bring Dr. Bowers here for quite some time because we know the importance of her voice to our amplifying equity discussions. We are grateful that the Institute of Health Equity Research is our co-sponsor for this event, because not only is Dr. Bowers paving the way forward for gender equity in the workforce every day, but her groundbreaking clinical work continues to ensure equity within her field. We had over 150 people register for today's event, and that speaks to the importance of her work and how eager our Mount Sinai community is to hear Dr. Bowers' perspective and to learn from her. Dr. Bowers is recognized as a pioneer in the field of gender-affirming surgery. She is the first surgeon with transgender history and the first woman to perform gender-affirming genital surgeries worldwide. She is a pelvic and gynecologic surgeon with more than 32 years experience. She is a University of Minnesota Medical School graduate, where she was class and student body president.
I wonder why the comments are turned off.
Obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Washington. She practiced in Seattle at the Polyclinic and Swedish Medical Center. Dr. Bowers left Seattle in 2003 to apprentice with the legendary Dr. Stanley Biber, considered the father.
Real quick, if you guys want to see a before and after. So this is him before and after. Let me see. Yeah, so that's him. That's him. I hate that it doesn't. Just go right to it. Where is it? Come on, bro. Just fucking give me the big picture and stop being annoying. He was born in 1958. Well, that's him. Here, let me see if I hate how Google Pictures is now. It's like all annoying. Oh, here's him with his kids. I guess that's his wife. So that's him right there, right? So, yeah. Before he went full AGP. Skinwalking, gross. Oh, yeah, he did write the intro. Because it's the same intro that's on his website. Yeah, so there's him before and after, you know. Yo, you know who he reminds me of? And you know who I feel like... Did you guys ever watch Ace Ventura? Ace Ventura, when it's like the one guy... Hold on. Ace Ventura reveals... What's it called? Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. Hold on. Let's see. Here we go. This part. Why do I feel like...
Save big this week on Lidl deals.
Einhorn from Pet Detective looks exactly like Marci Bowers.
49 cents per pound. Mandarins, 3-pound bags are only $2.99.
If you were to look up professional football's all-time bonehead plays, you might read about a Miami Dolphin kicker named Ray Finkel, who missed a 26-yard field goal in the closing seconds of Super Bowl 17. What you wouldn't read about is how Ray Finkel lost his mind, was committed to a mental hospital only to escape and join the police force under the assumed identity of a missing hiker, manipulating his way to the top in a diabolical scheme to get even with Dan Marino, whom he blamed for the entire thing.
What the hell are you talking about?
She's not Lois Einhorn. She's Ray Finkel. She's a man.
He's lying.
Shut up! Let's just see who's lying, shall we? Would a real woman have to wear one of these? Boy, that's really on there. But tell me this. Would a real woman be missing these? That kind of surgery can be done over the weekend. But I doubt very much if he could find the time during his busy schedule to get rid of big old Mr. Kanish. Oh boy. Ace, come here. Would you excuse me for just 1 second?
No. Damn, they're doing it again. All right. I'm pushing my luck. Are we back yet? Am I back? I am. Alrighty. Plato's Cave is a good one. It's a good allegory.
Her merry way.
Hello.
Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, no, I know. Hold on. So I was saying that looks like. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, I know. So if you look at Ray Finkel, he looks exactly like he had the same like mustache. Hold on, let me just hold on. Ray Finkel. Yeah, look. Doesn't it kind of look? It's like the before and after. Okay, just bear with me, right? This is not. I'm not trying to put. Sean, she's gorgeous, right? She is a beautiful and actual woman, right? But look, this is the before and after of Ray Finkel and Sean Young, right? Take it in, and now look at this, right? You see it a little bit. It's a little bit. You see it a little bit. I just wonder. You know what I mean? I just wonder because that would have been around the same like time that they fucking. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I gotta be careful with all that. Do you feel me though? Yeah, how didn't he know? Ew. No, I think that they didn't have sex, so I think he just got like head, right? Didn't he? I don't know. Hey, Karen! Karen, it's so good to see you. I'm so sorry to hear about you being, suspended and all this sort of stuff. So everybody go, if you are not already subscribed to Karen Davis, you really need to get with the program and go do that right now. Hopefully that, we're able to get through this recent little hiccup with no real long-term issues to your channel. All right, so let's just take a little bit. Darn, it sucks because I do want to show some more I Am Jazz stuff, but it looks like we'll have to stick with this.
Father of transgender surgery. In 2010, Marcy relocated to San Francisco Bay Area community of Burlingame, California. She has now performed more than 2,250 primary gender-affirming vaginoplasties and 3,900 gender-affirming surgeries overall.
So this is her just reading the same thing. It's the same exact thing that I had already read.
And Dr. Mazer and all the organizers, thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to be here and see you all this morning. For me, it's morning. I guess for you, it's afternoon now. But welcome, everyone. And I hope to add to the discussion here in that we were speaking this morning about how it's important that we all share our strengths in our own minority status, and that if we can link somehow together, we aren't just minorities that are subject to oppression, but actually a force in and of ourselves. And so that's what really this is all about, is understanding the notion of intersectionality and how that can be not points of difference, but actually points of commonality
that allow that linking to occur. We're getting there in this world, although we all know in recent times and with the Russian invasion, and there's a long way to go. People don't understand each other, and there's just a lot of
you look real oppressed. You know, in that fucking like gorgeous house, and I'm sure you're making a killing off of doing this to men. Like, come on, bro.
Angst still in this world. So I'm going to speak to you a little bit about the transgender process, just a few basic facts. So if you walk away with anything, maybe those will be things you recall. I'll talk about my career and how I ended up here, and all the things I've done. Sometimes I can't even remember the list myself, so I'm glad you read those things. And then last, I'm going to read to you just a bit from the letter I wrote a couple days ago to Bill Maher. And if you know the show Real Time, I was quoted on that. My words of concern about puberty blockers have been unfortunately taken and used in an unhelpful way. Rather than
let's listen to him backpedal about puberty blockers. So he basically had come forward and was like, yeah, do any of you guys remember the one troon that was in the military who was in the Jubilee who did the Jubilee debate with Blair White, the dude with like the blonde hair, who everyone was like, oh, he's so reasonable. If anyone can remember his name, he did a video about Marci Bowers I wanted to pull up. Otherwise, I'll look for it.
Recognizing that this is what science does. You know, science, we make hypotheses.
Or Hidgen. What is it? Sarah Hidgen or something? Sarah Hidgen?
And then okay, thank you. That's it. Hypotheses based on fact and science. And that's what medicine and science does. But instead, in the political world, what people do, as soon as there is any kind of dissent within the kitchen, then it's weaponized and used for political purposes, something that's really antithetical to any of us who are in medicine and science. So with that, I'm gonna share my screen here shortly, and here we go. So let's see if I can actually figure this out. Okay, or is that sharing now? It looks like it is.
Yes.
Great. And here goes the slideshow. So that is myself there operating at some point. And first of all, the point I'll make is just that there's a current description of the incidence of transgender persons in the U.S. I think the term now, again, terminology continues to change. Use what you have, but just listen, because I do find that with each change in terminology, it sharpens our definition. And so even in this...
So just for context, right now, Marci Bowers, again, who's the president of WPATH, who's an obstetrician gynecologist and a gender surgeon, is giving a presentation to Mount Sinai. So I'm sure this is like continuing education credits for a bunch of medical clinicians. So this is supposed to be like some medical clinical conversation by like the leading expert. And just listen to how much of it is just like make it up as you go along, how politically tainted it all is, how unscientific it is.
And I would say that probably I would change this now to say that TGNC, transgender non-conforming facts, rather than that. And also that this incidence is rapidly changing. It is the numbers of each generation.
If it's as low as 0.5% of the population, then how is it that as just one gender surgeon has already done 4,000 SRS surgeries? That's not even all the people who identify as trans. Those are the people who are, like mentally ill enough to want to go all the way with this. 4,000. Come on.
Seem to be going up, but people that identify as not necessarily.
I know, Karen, isn't it horrifying?
And There are a few in our community right now who are questioning this, and they're saying the rise is too fast and that it's some sort of social contagion. And I think rather than labeling it or questioning it or pushing it down, really what people should say is, why is that happening? And I think just what you're seeing...
That's what they are saying. Why, rather than questioning it, people should say, ask, why is this happening? No, that is what they're saying. You just said that. Of course it's social contagion, because the rise coincides with this explosion of like Pride Month and all of this corporate signing on to Pride stuff, and the explosion of TikTok and social media and all this accessibility. Oh, by the way, for those who didn't see it already, where is it? The Breitbart. China manipulate social media or whatever, or is like targeting. Hold on. Yeah, look. I've already I talked about this. Let's see. Worldwide media surge during pandemic. So basically China, as I've already talked about, hold on, let me just duplicate this. Well, this is actually an older one, right? So this is from May 13th, 2021. But basically talking about how the People's Republic of China has a huge influence on what's being shown on the Chinese app of TikTok, and we need to get it banned. I'm sorry, we don't need, an International Federation of Journalists studies released Wednesday found China's influence over worldwide media increased dramatically during the coronavirus pandemic. So I'm sure it was such an accident that they released the coronavirus, and then all of a sudden so much has changed, right? Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, worked aggressively to rewrite the narrative of the coronavirus to erase Beijing's culpability. So let me see where the part, hold on, this is the part that I want to highlight, is this. Right here. Hold on. Okay, this right here. Chinese government documents reveal detailed plan to subvert American culture using tech and Hollywood to target American children. Okay? So yeah, no, there absolutely is a contagion factor. I've talked about this a lot. So China owns TikTok. If you look at TikTok, the way that TikTok and the algorithm is positioned for Americans and people in the West, it's very like they just promote kink and all this sort of sexual degeneracy and polyamory and like extreme body modification and transgenderism, and really promotes LGBTQ hard. I mean, TikTok is the only social media platform that has a written policy that is, firmly against misgendering somebody. You think that China has the same policies for their own people related to TikTok? First of all, kids in China are only allowed like a small window of time a day when they're allowed to be on TikTok. And, the algorithm that they have is not at all the same. Hold on for 1 second. 1 second, guys. I got to take this phone call. Hold on. All right, my bad. Right. So it's just, this is, Trump was right when he wanted to ban this, right? And we should have gone with it. Let's see. Hold on. Blood, money, Chinese influence. Let's see, Breitbart, whatever. So it's like they know. Hold on. Chinese influence. Yeah, here we go. Here we fucking go. Yo, we're gonna have to do a whole live stream on this. Two of the biggest funders of the radical transgender movement in the U.S. are China-linked billionaires. I've been saying this for so long, you guys. I've been saying this. I've been fucking saying it.
Thank you. Hello. Fucking thank you. Breitbart today. Or what was this? 7 days ago? Blood Money. Two of the biggest funders of the radical transgender movement in the U.S. are China-linked billionaires. I have said for a long time, this is Chinese. This is a way to subvert American culture. While our military is having pride parades, the Chinese military is fucking leveling up to take over hegemonic power. Hello. This is soft warfare, and they understand that the easiest way to make a society unravel is to destroy its values. You think China plays that shit? Fuck no. China's not playing with this kind of stuff. Fuck no. This is, oh my God. It's just so like validating. It's so validating. If it's true that China is being funded by radical theories, I'm deeply disturbed. Well, this is the mainstream media, first of all. But second of all, why? No, of course it's not. Of course it's not. Who do you think owns all of the mainstream media? You guys really think that, like, journalism is just, like, free and open and, you know, trust me. You know, and I'm friends with some journalists from, like, the New York Post. Trust me, they are very muzzled about what they can do and say. Pro-Beijing groups, financially backed by two China-linked billionaires, are pushing for the radical transgender movement as a means of advancing a Marxist agenda in the United States. 7-time New York Times best-selling author Peter Schweizer reveals in his new book, Blood Money, Why Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China Kills Americans. In Blood Money, Schweizer, who is a Breitbart News senior contributor and the president of the president of the Government Accountability Institute, reveals China's multi-pronged covert attack on America. In Chapter 6, called Destabilizing Democracy, Schweizer explores how two billionaires, China-based American Neville Roy Singham and Alibaba co-founder Joseph Tsai, prop up radical activist groups that use transgenderism as a weapon against the capitalist order. And they know that we would buy it because, again, it's like they used our own sort of greed and materialism and hedonism against us and knew that we were ripe for this sort of attack. You know, so it's not like it's just all China's fault. It's our fault too. We made ourselves vulnerable to this shit. God, I called this, yo. I fucking called it. Bro. Schweitzer first focuses on Singham, who grew up in Jamaica and Detroit, Michigan, and is a young man adopted. They're totally laughing their asses off at us continuously. They use our stupidity and our arrogance and our obsession with sex and degeneracy against us, and the fact that our family system, our family unit is totally falling apart. You know, they knew that this sort of like post, it's just a lot. It's a lot going on. You know, post-feminist, LGBT, post all of the, all these civil rights movements that made us just, and it's like, I get mad too because my kids come home and they talk about the curriculum that they're being taught in school, which is basically just like talking about how like America was founded on just like a bunch of like evil men hurting other people. And I'm like, oh, bro, I'm so close to just giving my kids an exemption from history and still buffering. Let me see. America was founded on just like a bunch of like evil men hurting other people. And I'm like, oh, bro, I'm so close to just giving my kids an exemption from history. Hold on. Is it still buffering? Hold on. Is it still buffering? It's back now. I'm sorry, guys. All right, we're not going to do a real long stream just because of like whatever's been going on. ThoughtWorks eventually opened up an office in Beijing, and in 2010 it held its software development conference in China's capital city. However, Singham ended up selling the company in 2017, a sale which was a financial boon for him and enabled him to dump money into various companies in China where he now lives. According to... Yay! Fuff. Da, 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 da. Yay, Fluffy Tin. While enjoying... Everybody say hi to Fluff. All right. Hold on, guys. All right. Fluff just got home, so I'm probably gonna hop off in a second. Oh my god. All right, let's just really quick take a look at this churn real fast, and then we'll peace out. So, but anyway, I just want everyone to know, go back. I posted it today in the community tab. I posted a link to that, or the headlines to that, with a video that I did talking about TikTok. Guys, I called this. I just wanted to be known that I called this, okay? I called it.
And there are a few in our community right now who are questioning this, and they're saying the rise is too fast and that it's some sort of social contagion.
Of course it's social contagion. Of
and
course
I think
it is.
Rather than labeling it or questioning it or pushing it down, really what people should say is, why is that happening? And I think just what you're seeing is that you're seeing that young people are deciding that really what describes their gender identity, what describes their internal sense of maleness and femaleness, is not defined by only two choices.
This idiot.
And really, if you look around nature, where else in nature are there only two choices except gender? There's just nothing else. And then if you can look at if you can imagine, the brain, if you can appreciate this, the brain has so many inputs that can push a person into feeling one way or the other. Why would we use just one little part of anatomy to make this decision to put people in one of two boxes for the rest of their lives? It just doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine if people at birth were separated into smart people and dumb people?
This is like one of the most esteemed, like prestigious medical organizations like on the planet. Mount Sinai, like that whole like medical network is like so well regarded. Like if the Mount Sinai in LA is where all the like celebrities go to have their babies or to have surgeries and stuff, the Mount Sinai in New York City is where all like the super rich people go. So it's like, it's so absurd that it's just like this, like make it up as you go along. I gotta go, guys. We'll get back into this. I really want to explore. I want to read that book really bad. We'll explore this more later. Please make sure to like and subscribe, comment, and then if you guys have any ideas of any topics that you want me to cover, just hit me up in the comments. And my email was like my email had accidentally gotten totally full because of pictures or whatever, but it's all good now. So if you need to email me, slightlytwistedfemale@gmail.com. If you want to send a contribution to the channel, it'd be wonderful at @slightlytwistedfemale, and or on at Venmo at @slightlytwistedfemale, or on Cash App at $slightlytwistedxx. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Thank you, Helena, and thank you, Susie, and Karen, and everybody else. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for stopping by. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.